live on Girls Run These Worlds with Regency Remixed, The Gardeners, a good society game using the Emma Forget Me Not expansion, exploring a Regency era where girls do in fact run the world, where non-binary people are recognized in the gentry and LGBTQIA plus romances are part of the norm. This week's episode deals with themes surrounding the loss of a parent and mourning. The facilitator, the cast, and the channel as a whole appreciates the support of its audience. But if these topics hit too close to home for you, please take care of yourself and step away from the screen. Your emotional and mental health matters. There are always VODs and YouTube for you to come back to when you are ready. That being said, let's meet our wonderful siblings. Starting with Kristin this time. Please introduce yourself and your main character.
Hi, I am Kristin House. You can find me here on Tuesdays and over at twitch.tv/dauntless on Fridays. And I am playing Iris Gardner, the socialite sister with secret, interesting, scandalous activities. Who seems to constantly be arguing with her younger sibling, Chrysanthemum. So.
That's great. And I would like to welcome to the stream for the first time officially, Glaiza.
Woo!
Please introduce yourself and your main character.
Hello. I'm Glaiza, they, them. I am the third culture kid of your nightmares. I'm a person of many hats. I am a podcast host. I'm a writer. I'm a variety streamer. I'm a talk show host. I am a lot of things. But today I will be playing Kerria Gardner, the long gone wayward sibling that's about to come back and find out that something's wrong. So, hey, everyone. I'll tell you where you can find me later, but mostly just on Twitter at classicalglaiza.
You know, a long time is relative. DK, please introduce yourself and your main character.
Hi, hello. I'm DK. At AbbaDarlings on Twitter is where I share my internal thoughts with everyone against their will. So that's probably the best place to find me and interact with me. I will be playing Lady Dahlia Gardner, the eldest of the Gardner siblings, and the future matriarch of the Gardner family, who is not prepared for that level of responsibility at all.
And last but not least, Abby, please introduce yourself and your main character. Hopefully. There you go. Are you with us? Oh, the gremlins today.
I know, the internet gremlins. Okay, I'm going to try and while I'm here. Hi, I'm Abby, and I will be playing Chrysanthemum Gardner, our lovely little hedonist and youngest sibling. And hopefully my internet won't misbehave.
So this evening, we start
Oh,
on a dark, cloudy day. About a week after the Queen's Ball. And the social season is now in full swing. And usually there are many balls to attend, many social events, just the general jockeying for position and status that happens in these parts. But not a single gardener is found at any of these social events. Each gardener is dealing with their mother's declining health in their own way. And last episode, we saw Iris send a letter to the missing sibling to alert them of the situation. Um, so, Kerria, um, let's kind of check in with you. Um, so, what happens when they receive this letter from their sibling?
It's been a year since Kerria has been gone, and they've been receiving letters from Iris all this time. Um, they don't really respond, but they have been receiving it. But the minute that they read that their mother is in poor health, they immediately pack the paper away, start packing all of their things, and without another word, they leave the house that they've been staying at and immediately make their way back home. Now, it's far from where the gardeners are from. Let's say facilitator, you can decide how long it would have taken for Kyria to have arrived.
I would say that it takes about a week's journey on a carriage,
Awesome.
which would explain why you weren't there at the beginning of the season when everyone else reunited. Um, and yeah, so at this point, you've taken the journey and your carriage pulls up to Spring Blossom Spring Blossom Estate. So what do you do now
I
once you get
as
home?
soon as I arrive at the estate, I basically um open the carriage, almost kicking down the door, and go and shout at anyone who can hear, "Take me to my mother immediately."
So what happens is there's like a footman. He was, opening the carriage door for you that you almost kicked down. And then, you have like staff, the usual fuss about your entrance. And Mrs. McIntyre, the head of the staff at the estate, immediately takes you to your mother's room where she is in bed surrounded by the rest of your siblings.
Oh.
And your mother waves you over quietly. Just come
All of
here, my
the
darling.
all of the adrenaline that Kyria has gone. So they're standing there by the door frozen as they're being waved to come in.
Come on now. And Iris will walk over and gently try and guide them towards their mother.
What's happening?
And Lady Camilla, like, you know, holds her hand up to Carrier's cheek. She says, "I am not well, my darling, but I had to tell you. Even without so much as speaking a word, I knew that you left for a good reason. I know you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. But please, lean on your siblings. And lean on your mother. And,
There must be something we can do. There are cities we can go. There must be something.
I don't think I could make that far of a journey. I I would rather just have all of you here. And
Though the sentiment is good, that does not provide much in the way of healing for you, Mother.
it's okay. It's okay, my sweet child. And your other mom, Lady Elena, she kind of sighs and she says, I could not convince her for months now to
This has been going
slow
on for
down.
months?
They didn't want to tell us.
It wasn't until recently that it got really bad. And you know how stubborn your mother is. She would never want to burden any of you.
We're a bit burdened now.
So Lady Elena kind of gives Iris a look. And she says, I understand how difficult this is for all of you. I really do, but I've honestly tried. I've tried really hard to
Of
get
course,
her
Mom. Of course.
to
I
get her
know.
help.
I'm sorry.
This isn't easy for any of us. And you hear a cough, just like, I just wanted all of my children here. One last time before things got too bad.
It's not the last time. We're gonna have more time. It's okay. Right? Right, Dahlia? We're gonna have more time.
Kerria looks at Dahlia and sees absolute truth in her face and sees that they are out of options and they are out of time. Dahlia says nothing.
You know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm gonna go and unpack. I assume my room is still available, and I'm just gonna go.
Your room is untouched and still there.
Awesome. And Carol will stand up and turn and just to avoid everybody seeing the emotion on their face and just sort of like stomp out of the room.
Iris would look visibly torn between if she should go after them or if she should stay in the room.
I think that Dahlia would reach over and just kind of tap the back of Iris's hand and give her a nod toward the door.
After that signal, then Iris would go.
Yeah, and you would also get the encouragement of your other mom. You should go check on them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, you go and check on your sibling. They you know where their room is, hasn't changed, has been tidied up but left untouched for the most part.
Yeah, so I think Iris would gently knock on the door, kind of peering in.
the door is unlocked, but when you do peek in, Kerria is just standing by the door of their closet, basically just standing, staring, and not a word.
Not like that. Kerria,
Yeah.
I would have told you sooner if I knew.
I don't blame anyone.
You know it's serious, right? It's okay.
They don't reply.
It's okay to talk about it. Keeping it inside. Well, I haven't talked to anybody about it really because you haven't been here. So, I've kept it inside waiting for you to arrive, and it's quite miserable, the feelings. So if you can get it out now instead of holding it in and letting it build up like I did, that might be good for you.
My dear sister, I'm very good at bottling things up. And right now, I don't think I'm ready to just talk about it.
Okay. For the record, I wish you hadn't had to get so good at bottling things up.
Yeah, me too.
I'll go for now, but if you need anything, I am.
I know where to find you.
All
Which
right.
incidentally is the bedroom next door, because your parents thought it would be hilarious to have your room set up in birth order.
Amazing.
From like, so the bedroom closest to your mom's rooms is Dahlia's, and then all the way to the end of the hall. So
Fantastic.
Like 'em.
yeah, it's they thought it would be super cute. So incidentally, the two of you, as like the middle children, have always had your rooms next to each other.
Yeah, so Iris would probably go back to her room and, in order to cope, would start writing.
Let's check in with Chrysanthemum, maybe? Yes?
Hopefully, it's stable for now. I am.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
I am.
so you are in the room with your moms. You witnessed that whole exchange with Kerria just storming off. Things are a little tense and very dire. And you are sitting there, sitting wherever you are with your oldest sibling, and your mom's. What's going on with Chrysanthemum?
It has been difficult for Chrysanthemum. Of her character, I'm always the kind of person who is the life of the party, so to speak. And now reality and other things have come knocking on the front door. And try as I might, I can't deny it. I've brought in flowers. You know, everyone's namesakes. Look at mother. Look at all the cheer they bring in.
And you get the sweetest smile from your
of course, now
moms.
Kara's
Both of
back,
them.
and there's that. It's just too much.
No, it's
no, indeed.
beautiful.
I'm so upset.
It's beautiful. I love these flowers. All of your beautiful namesakes. When we chose these flowers for all of you, we would hope that you would bloom into people that were as beautiful and as these flowers are, both inside and out. And from the bed, you hear, "Come a little bit closer, my darling." And your mom pats on a spot next to her. For you, Chrysanthemum. And she says,
She's almost a little. This.
"Yeah, it's pretty frightening," but she quietly says, "I know you've struggled to find your place, my dear, but continue to follow your heart."
Mama,
And
you're gonna be here to help me, right? You always are. You're gonna be here with all of us, and you're gonna help us all find our places, and we'll find your place, and everything is gonna be fine, right? Right, Mom?
no matter what happens, everything is going to be fine. And she squeezes your hand very gently. And she then looks over to Dahlia, and Dahlia, you have had multiple conversations with the Duchess, with Lady Camilla, over the last week, as she's been teaching you more about your responsibilities. And, you know, it's the burden of being the oldest to have all of those conversations, but it's almost like you're having to relive it, watching your siblings, watching your mom say goodbye to your siblings one by one. And, it doesn't feel that great. And you feel your other mom behind you with a hand on the shoulder, just trying to be reassuring, but also just standing there quietly.
I think Dahlia has pretty much lived in this room for the last week.
Mhm.
I think that she has sort of just constantly been, if she's not asleep in a chair by the bedside, she's getting towels, she's making sure that the medication is in order, she's adjusting her pillows. I think she realizes that this is her last chance to ask her mother for advice. She's enough like her mother that she believed her. She believed both of their mothers when they said this is probably the end of the line. And she knows that she now has the entire family to look after and not a lot of time um, to find out everything she could possibly need to know for the rest of their lives. So she has stayed as close to her mother as humanly possible. And even now, even watching all of her siblings kind of react to this, she is stone faced because she has to be. So she just reaches down for her mother's hand on the opposite side and sits on the bed beside her and gives her full attention.
And you have had a special kind of insight because you've seen the rotating door of doctors too. And it is the kind of thing where, like, you know, there's a part of you that's kind of upset at the fact that your mom made that decision, like, to withhold the information as long as she did from the rest of you, but also, like, you get it because, you're similar enough that you understand where Lady Camilla is coming from with all this. Um, so you are aware in a way that the others aren't, and when you go to grab your mother's hand, you hear her say, "Elena, give her the book. And your other mom pulls a book from the side drawer. It's a thick, heavy journal. And
What is
she
this?
gives it to you. I know I won't be here much longer, but I want you to have this. And when you open the first page, you see that it's in her handwriting. It is her personal journal.
Mother, are you sure? You've always been a terribly private person.
I hope you'll find guidance, inspiration in this book.
Dahlia sort of hugs the book to her chest with her free hand that's not holding on to her mother and says, I will read every single word. At least twice.
Of course you will. And when Iris returns from checking in with Kerria, um, she is waved over to also like kind of sit in the bed. And what she hears from her mom is a quiet piece of advice. Iris, no matter what you do, don't ever lose your voice.
I would never. I don't know that I'm capable.
That's good. Out of all of your siblings, you've always been the one with the strongest voice.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
There is a lot out there in society that is challenging.
it's not often a good society, is it?
Roll credits.
No, but. And she looks at everyone, like, on her bed. But that's why we had all of you. And she looks up at Dahlia. And she says, I once tried to be what society wanted me to be. And when I lost your father, and she looks up at Dahlia, everything changed. I lost sight of what was important once before and decided that I would change the world with the power that I had. I fell in love again. As she looks at your other mom, I fell in love again, and we decided to choose each of you. And she looks at the door, where Kerria ran off. And slowly we made this world better. And now you must continue on. You must continue to make the world better. And then she says, let's all have a cuddle in bed, just like old times. Go find Kerria, please.
Dahlia, she might respond better if you go get her this time.
They're just siblings tagging in. Nope.
I
time.
think they might respond to your authority. They we're too much of equals, so
I suppose if nothing else, it is my turn. I'll be right back.
Exactly, yes.
And I will go.
Don't worry, doll. I will stay here with Mama. Nothing will go wrong.
Very reassuring. Is
Kerria has
avoiding
not moved from in front of the
her
closet,
woes
has been
in an
standing there this
unhealthy
entire
way,
time.
folks.
Things unpacked.
Dahlia takes a minute to just kind of stare at the outline of their sibling and mark that they're a little bit taller, a little broader. Their fashion sense has changed. This is not entirely the same person that left. And then she's going to go about it like she normally would anyway. Kerria.
Yes, Dahlia.
First of all, we missed you. And we're glad you're here. And there is nothing fair about this being the news that you returned to. I have my own frustrations with the Duchess for leaving us so woefully unprepared for this time in our lives. However, unprepared as we may be, and I promise you, we are all unprepared. No one more than me. The time has come. And I've been with her all week. I have never been a defeatist, but we are out of time. She is out of time, and she is asking for you.
I suppose I should be thankful that I at least have this little bit of time left. No one to blame but myself, of course. But let's go. And
forget the blame. Let's just go sit with our mother.
And you see them wipe their eyes a little bit and like shoulders back, head high, walks and follows you to Mother's bedroom.
And you recognize kind of the scene that's being like in front of you. It's your mother has requested, like everybody in bed together. So Chrysanthemum and Iris are already there. And come on.
Kerria takes their place at the bottom of the bed. During happier times, they would always take the bottom of the bed, just so that they could tickle the feet of anyone that is unfortunate enough to be near Kerria's figures. This time, they take the bed and just quietly lie down there, like they always do. Like they do now.
My beautiful children, I want you all to know how proud I am of you. And she slowly kisses the top of each of your heads. And she says, remember when you were all young and we would have sleepovers like this? And I'm tired. Come on, come along. Let's have a snuggle. Yeah. So, I think that's a good place to kind of wrap that scene up. Um, I would like to take a quick 5-minute break at this point in time. Um, just to check in with everyone. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes. we are back after that quick little break. We're back with the Gardners, our favorite Regency disaster family. um, so after that brief little sad interlude, we are going to fast forward in time to 2 or 3 days where our lovely gardeners are um, processing what has happened. And we are going to do our next novel chapter, and we are going to do a series of visitations. Um, so let's start with Iris, or should I say Irene at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so in order for Iris to cope with the stuff with their ex Lucy not being super receptive to them, and now her mom being ill and all of that, she wouldn't have been going to any public facing events, but she definitely would have been going to like the scandalous, for lack of a better word, sexy kind of like underground parties that where a lot of debauchery and all of that happens. And when she does that, she goes by also her pen name, which is Irene Farmer. So Irene would have been going out and about a lot, which means she also would have been seeing her booty call, for lack of a better term, Sophia Lovelace, because they run in the same smutty erotica writing circles and have kind of like a thing. So, yes, that is the relationship stage.
So then tell us, kind of set the scene for us about this like underground writers group, I
I mean,
guess. Like, what is
that's
this
what
vibe? Like,
we're
yeah,
calling it. It's a
that's
writers group.
it's a writers
if
group.
anybody who mattered in law enforcement or something asked what we were doing, we would probably call it a writers group. But it's where actually a lot of the artsy creative people, but also you would be surprised how many like politically kind of powerful people also roam these parties. But they're usually, behind large wooden doors that require passwords to get through. The things you imagine in the movies, like very cliche, secret kind of speakeasy
Sorry.
vibes.
Secret society vibes, right? Like, nobody actually knows about this.
Yeah, no one is supposed to know that the people who party here like this. And so, technically under that, Iris could probably get away with partying here under her actual name, but she's too paranoid. So she goes by her pen name anyway. So it would be at one of these places with the lights super dim, and it would probably be like an underground kind of library bar, with a lot of people sitting around. There'd be booths, there would be like a small dance floor, just people all crowded together, like networking, making connections to hook up, like all of these sorts of things. And it would be in like this dimly lit area, probably in a corner by the bar, that Irene would be venting to Sophia about her ill mother without naming names.
With your permission, Kristin, is it okay if Lady Iris is sitting on Sophia's lap?
Yes. Oh, yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you both consent, there's no token exchange required. Yeah. It's mostly a negotiation tool. I just want to clarify that for the audience in terms of negotiation.
Great.
Um, Sophia, of course, is listening to her beautiful, beautiful friend here about the problems that she's experiencing, and is playing with Irene's hair while they're doing
Mm.
that, and is saying, "Oh, my love, I'm so sorry. You know I'm here for you as much as you need me."
I know, and I know that I also don't usually talk about my personal life. It's just, it's all a bit much. So I can't help it. It's the alcohol is just making it all spill out of me.
Well, I do appreciate this time, and maybe sometimes getting to know you is really nice. Instead of, don't get me wrong, I think you're gorgeous, and our casual meetings is always a pleasure, but getting to know you better feels a lot more intimate.
Yes, you do always say that. And I appreciate the sentiment. How you in that vein, how are you doing?
Oh, here and there, hanging out with friends, mostly waiting for your call.
Yes, I'm remembering what it's like to spend time with you, a writer who is very aware of their words. You certainly speak to me like a protagonist in a romance novel.
Figure that's the best way to get your attention.
It is what I am most schooled in myself, so valiant effort. Um, you know, actually, never mind.
You can tell me anything at all.
What are your thoughts on the idea of the one that got away?
Well, my thoughts on that is it's unfortunate, you know,
Hmm.
but it is definitely one of those things that I refuse to let happen to me. If I really like someone, if I really adore someone, I hold on tight, and usually I don't let go.
Hmm.
Why, my love, did you let someone get away?
Oh, uh, I'm not sure that's the right situation. No. Um,
Well, if they let you get away, then they're fools.
uh, if I ever need to, I will pass along the memo. No, it's just research for my next novel. Want to play with that trope, I think.
I see. I see. Well,
Speaking
I'm
of,
always here for your, writing experiments, anything you need.
yes, you do like when I try out paragraphs on you. So did you see in the newspaper, however we get our news in this era, I
Cell phones,
presume,
what? Social media?
did you see it trending on Twitter? That an Iris Gardner is apparently also in our genre. So, I would like to point out for Sophia's benefit, Sophia has probably received the scandal sheet
Uh-huh.
at some point. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I have. I didn't realize that one of the gardeners were also secretly writers. Have you met them by any chance, my dear?
Only in passing. Have you met them?
I don't believe so. You see, I'm not as high up in the echelons of the peerage to really participate in those kind of things, you know?
What do you think of them then?
Well, to be honest, I think they're a bit too dramatic for my taste.
Yes, that does seem to be the case. I hear that they all like to plant rumors about one another in the society. It's quite interesting.
Honestly, I don't really pay attention to the peerage, not when the most beautiful people are already near me.
Yes, our little writers club.
Yes.
Quite a lot of interesting people here. Um,
Of course,
Most
them
notably
too.
you. Yes.
Them too, but I was mostly talking about you. Actually, I was only talking about you.
Would you like to go back to your place, perhaps?
I thought you'd never ask.
I think that closes out the scene, probably.
Somewhere
I
Lucy is
mean-
crying.
I mean, it is Pride Month.
At
you know?
this point, the camera, just the last thing you see is them like leaving. Yeah, they just leave the party. You know. Okay.
Lucy's crying somewhere. Who got the drink thrown on them? Who who got sent a lock of hair that said "prove it"? Huh? Who was that? Who?
Okay. There's a little bit to unpack with that relationship. We'll deal with that. Just put a pin on that.
Love
Okay,
only.
and we will check in with Kerria. So okay, so this is the kind of run in with Eliza, correct? This is the one
Yes.
that. Okay, so set the scene for us. Where would you like this
Well,
encounter to happen?
I assume that Kerria has been trying to go out more often and maybe try to meet up with people a little bit more than not, just trying to see basically what has happened since the year that they were away. So there's a country club, I'm assuming that maybe that they're, I don't know, country clubs is the thing, right? So they're probably going to this country club and riding the horses or whatever, and has set up a meeting um with with their best friend Brandon. Unfortunately, it wasn't Brandon that showed up.
They could have showed up together as a family because country clubs families
Of
have
course.
memberships too.
Of course. But I have a
Okay.
feeling that Eliza is going to be the first one to show up.
Yeah.
Just a feeling. I don't know. It depends on.
Um. No.
Or it could be Brandon first. I don't know. It depends on.
We could just have them both
mood.
there.
Yeah.
We could just have them both there, and Kerria is just gonna have to deal with the chaos.
Awesome.
Eliza, are you here now? Okay.
Eliza isn't, but Brandon is. So
Let's do Brandon.
Wait, Eliza is here.
Brandon
somewhat.
is
Let's see if
Eliza's
she
back.
stays.
Where?
No.
I
Simply.
thought. Oh no.
So it's okay. Let's do Brandon first.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Brandon,
Oh, no,
upon
Eliza's
seeing
gone.
them, would immediately soften a little bit. Because even though Brandon is very much so, they're kind of a dumbass, but
My best friend.
I care about them a lot. And so he would walk over to them and just be like, "It is so good to see you."
Brandon, I am so happy to see you. You would not know the company that is lacking in my life since I've been gone.
I could take a couple of guesses. Your situation at home, your siblings are pretty interesting. So
I mean, I love my siblings, and that's not really who I'm talking about. I'm more talking about when I was gone for a long time, the company I've been keeping.
oh yeah, I was gonna gloss over the you leaving thing because I know you still don't want to tell
I mean,
everybody about it. So
who else is here to tell? You're the only one present.
you haven't told your family. Not even
They,
Iris knows.
they don't need to know.
And I don't think you needed to go.
Ooh.
Yes, well, that is the thing that has happened far too long ago. It's over now. Hopefully, things have calmed down enough.
I mean, I get it. I do.
How how is your sister?
Oh, Eliza.
I would like to use a facilitator token to have Eliza show up just as her name is being invoked. And I will offer this to Kerria probably because that is the most well, I mean, I'm
Sure.
technically compelling I'm technically compelling Eliza to show up, but also I'm gonna offer it to Kerria because this affects them the
All right.
most, I think. Yeah?
Do I
Okay,
get
cool.
a token? What do I do with that?
Yeah.
It's okay, I'll handle it. You
Sweet.
role play. Boop.
Awesome.
um,
How is your sister?
Eliza. So Eliza would be right here now.
Yep.
Fortunately, eventually.
Oh no. No! My
Internet.
dramatic moment is ruined by technology.
Yeah.
I'm so upset. Like,
Keep
I'm
going.
almost crying.
Okay, keep going.
But,
They'll just jump in when they can.
Yeah. So, you mean the woman you kissed, Eliza? My sister Eliza? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I asked you first before I could do it.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure we're talking about the same Eliza, you know?
Yeah. How is your sister?
I imagine Eliza's walking out of a dressing booth, sees Kira, makes eye contact with her brother, shakes her head.
Eliza, come on over. Kara's wondering how you're
Kara!
doing. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
here.
Eliza, you remember my good friend Kerria.
I was not expecting to see you here today. Or any day, really.
Well, I have been away and I'm now back. How are you doing, Eliza?
She's been, neither here nor there.
Are you well?
I
She is very unwell seeing you, I think.
Oh, my dear. Well, I don't mean to cause any problems, of course, but it is good to see you, Brandon and Eliza, right? Like Carrier pretends they forgot their name.
Ouch, harsh to my sister there. Pal.
How painful.
Pal, that hurt her. I just know it. I just do. We're siblings.
I can feel the pain. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I'm good
Maybe
at
get back
improv.
to that later, and maybe do
Yeah.
a different scene.
Yes. Aye.
Sorry, my. All right, you know what? We'll circle back around to that.
Thank you.
And we'll check in with Okay, I'm gonna do a dealer's choice situation here with Dahlia. Uh, DK, who do you think? Who do you want Dahlia to run into first? Peregrine or Ulysses? But
I
I know
think
how to.
I think definitely Peregrine.
Okay, so then, how do you imagine this encounter to go down? Like, set the scene for us a little bit about this.
I imagine that despite, or perhaps because of this longtime rivalry, these are two people that know each other very well. So Dahlia knows where to find Peregrine just kind of instinctually. And I think that she does go to his office or his research lab and just let herself in. And is just waiting in like his study when he comes back from whatever he was doing, pointedly.
Yeah, so Peregrine just do like a bunch of books in hand and probably like a strangely shaped fossil in the other, just clearly carrying too much research, but also clearly being the type of person that would not want to make more than one trip from like point A to point B, so would suffer to carry everything in one trip. And upon seeing Dahlia there, would probably trip over their feet a little bit, and some of the books would go flying, and Peregrine's face would go very, very red because one, Dahlia's cute, but also to like the idea of being clumsy in front of like your arch intellectual nemesis is embarrassing and humiliating. What are you doing here?
Good morning, Peregrine. How are you
Yeah,
feeling? Not well, clearly.
no, fantastic. And he'll automatically be like picking up all of the books, moving
Would you
quickly.
like some help with that? It looks heavy, almost like it should have been two trips, perhaps.
Absolutely not. Nope. Thank you so much. And they're just like angrily stacking books like onto the table and shifting the fossil out of his arm and it cluttering on the table, like, and then just finally will like dust himself off, fix like the blazer, and like just look pointedly. How can I help you?
Well, I've had a lot of time to just sort of sit and think recently, and it occurred to me,
Fantastic. Yes. I'm so
it occurred
glad
to me,
you've
I never
decided to
asked
do
you.
that more now. Yes.
I mean, if you consider our grades in school, I always did a better job at it than you did.
Minor percentages, almost unnoticeable.
Funny how it's minor when my grades are higher, but when your grades are higher, it's almost as if they've been inflated somehow.
Yeah.
Of course. I came to ask, why are you telling my little sisters anything about my past? Or our shared past?
Well, Chrysanthemum is quite persuasive, and by that I mean sort of terrifying.
Chrysanthemum is a child.
You would think that until she threatens to destroy your name in every country that's ever existed and make all of your research and discoveries completely invalidated. It's terrifying.
That does sound like something that she would say. Do you really think that of the two of us, my 19-year-old sister is the one you should be concerned about?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I know you. I
Course.
know how to interact.
Do you?
Yes, yes.
So falling arse over tea kettle and spilling all of your things, that's the way to interact with me?
Yes, it levels the
flattered.
playing field. It makes you feel not as
You on the
intimidated by
ground?
me. Yes, you shouldn't. I don't want you to feel intimidated by me, so I am trying to come across as a bit more of a buffoon than I might actually be.
How generous of you.
I have invested a lot of time in becoming a generous person. Thank you for noticing.
I don't believe that for a moment, but I'm sure that you do.
Whatever helps us sleep at night, right?
Peregrine, keep
Dahlia,
your
are
mouth
you
shut.
okay? Dahlia, are you okay?
Yes?
I don't think so. Word travels. We went to school together forever. The whole time, and our families run in the same circles.
What would you like me to say, Peregrine? My mother is dying. It happens all the time, every day, like clockwork. And it's our family's turn. And someone in this family has to be okay. So, yes, I am perfectly all right.
You can be unokay with me if you need to.
I'm used to being ready for everything, anything, and I knew logically that this day would come. Obviously.
Where I offered emotional support to you that
No,
day.
no, you idiot. The day that my mother would no longer be here. But thank you for making this about you in true
Both
you fashion.
really big days.
This is true. I suppose I can't deny that. My sisters are not taking it well, and now Kiara is back, and they're definitely not taking it well, and someone has to take it well. Yeah, that happened a few days ago, a week ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't slept very much, so I'm not entirely certain what
That
day it is
explains
anymore.
it. That explains it. You're just everyone's sharper when they sleep. It's just a thing. It's not personal. Just
Sure,
saying.
but every time I go to sleep, there is a chance that something will happen while I'm not there. So I can stand to be sleepless for a little while. I'll have plenty of time to sleep when she's gone.
Yeah. I was like raised by our butlers, so I don't get it. But I know I don't get it. So I apologize.
Thank you for asking. That doesn't happen often.
People think that because we're the older siblings and because we are very intellectual that our emotions don't have to be worried about as much. It's just, are you reading still? Are you writing? What's your next project? So I've found that Sabrini types can usually use a little bit more extra attention to the condition and care of our hearts. So,
well, I appreciate you not
you're still
taking the obvious
insufferable.
victory here. As are you.
Yeah,
That hasn't changed.
We have to keep that out there. Because
I'm
now
fairly
with
certain
the...
they can see that in space.
Oh, well. Yours, absolutely. There
Definitely
is
yours. Your ego is something else, truly.
there is the issue though of that rumor. That truth, actually.
How did it even come up? She didn't know. She couldn't have asked about it.
Um, that's an excellent question. Uh, I I can't recall that she was asking about something specific, but rather any amount of blackmail I might have on you specifically. Oops. Oopsies. Or maybe
That's
that's
not a
what I
game
thought
that
it
she
was.
wants to play anyway. So, if that is the case,
Actually,
there are
you
worse
know,
things.
perhaps I was inebriated. And I'm trying to get out of this being my problem.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Yes, I think we never really closed out that whole situation between the two of us. Uh and I think in my hurt I knew the right person and people to talk to about it. Um
You are a brilliant man, Peregrine Cabot. You truly are. One of the sharpest minds of our generation, I'm certain of it. And you are also oceans of ignorance and islands of brilliance. In what? Why reopen that door? And not just reopen it, but blast it off its hinges for the entirety of polite society to see.
I you know, maybe you're right about a lot of it. I know that someone else has had your affections for a long time, so it was a fool's errand.
My affections are not especially the subject of anyone's concern at the moment. I am going to have a family to run very soon, and even if that door was open, you made it very, very clear a very long time ago that you didn't want a family. So it seems we have once again reached an impasse.
It has been great seeing you, Dahlia.
And you. I hope your fossil's all right.
As do I. It's going to win another award, I'm sure.
Dahlia turns around and walks out.
You know, that rivalry is the serotonin I needed tonight. Um, let's see. Who do we have left to cover? Do we have Abby? Can we try? Can we try?
I don't think
No.
so.
Okay. There's only one scene left on the list, which is Ulysses and Dahlia. But if Kristin or Glaiza, if you have
I can do
anything
Ulysses.
else you want to cover as
Oh,
well, it could be really fun.
I can if I could just have the meeting with Eliza, if
Um,
that's possible. Just like, but other than that, I'm good.
um,
I
yeah.
mean, can
Okay.
someone else technically step in for Eliza?
I could step in for Eliza. Sure. I just Let me double check on the vibes of this character. Well, technically, connections are like essentially the facilitator can jump in for them.
Great.
Okay. Okay.
I think Abby might be back.
I might be back. Let's see. Okay, I gotta grab the moment while I can. I am gonna fight the
It's
sun. but
Liza. Come
let's do
on, fight
this.
me.
It's Liza. Oh, okay.
So, okay, are we kind of just picking up at the
Yes.
country
Oh,
club,
she's
I
done
guess?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Don't drop,
really
please.
unfortunate and
Don't drop again.
frustrating.
Yay.
So yeah, Eliza the whole time has just been looking at her brother like, no. And Brandon's just not having it and just like come say hello. And when she interacts, she's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to see you here."
Liza, hello.
Sorry to hear about your mother's passing.
Yeah. Well, what happens, of course. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure everyone's fine anyway. You're fine, right?
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Of course. I'm sure people leaving don't really hurt you as much.
Okay, that is presumptuous
Oh.
of you to say, and I don't appreciate that.
Brandon's just now there, like
It's okay. You don't have to pretend that you care. I'm sure you care in such a way that you're a good person, la 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 la. But we both know where we
You
stand with each other.
you are the one who left without warning,
And I've heard many, many things
and
about you.
I'm the one and I'm the one who doesn't care. Hold on, just a moment. Make that make sense to me, Kerria.
It's fine. We both know that we were just hanging out.
hey, now that
Sorry, no
I-
offense, Brandon.
I'm stuck here between my best friend and my sister. Can you maybe do this when I'm not here? I'm leaving, and Brandon's
You're
gonna
the
walk
one who
away.
called me over. And
Brandon walks away.
She looks really upset and just like, oh,
Well,
we don't have to do this at all. If
Oh.
you're gonna continue to be like this, I am also leaving.
Like what, Eliza? You moved on pretty quickly, didn't you not? Barely gone for a month and I hear all these stories.
And do you believe everything society tells you?
I didn't hear you write to me. Well, I don't think that works anyway. I didn't see you write to me.
Yeah, well,
That's
you left without warning and you didn't tell me where to write. How could I write to you? Make that make sense.
you know that Iris would know where to write. You just admit that you didn't try hard enough, Eliza. It's okay. We're
that
fine.
doesn't change anything. You left me. And she
And
like,
maybe I should have left earlier.
and she is it okay if she like slaps you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she totally does. It's just like a really loud slap that's like just yeah, and then she's like, I am done. Don't you ever dare speak to me again. And she storms off.
hate doing that.
Okay, that's one scene to check off. Also the other one with Brandon. Um, okay. Um, at the like sometime in the afternoon, like mid afternoon, um, oh, hold on. I know her name. I know my NPCs, my connections. Um, Althea finds Dahlia. Where is Dahlia at, like, during the afternoon? Like, where does Dahlia spend her afternoons after the passing of the Duchess?
I think probably in her mother's study. I think she still has her own fully operable study, but I think now she prefers to work kind of in her mother's headspace. So she always has the diary on her desk beside her and is now wearing morning white instead of morning black.
Okay. So you get a knock. You at first you get a knock. Um, yeah. So at first Althea actually checks your study, but then you're not there, so she's like knocks on the door.
Yes, come in.
Um, Dahlia. Lady Dahlia. There's a visitor for you in the sitting room downstairs. Are you up for visitors? It's Sorry, hold on. It's Mr. Ulysses Knott.
Oh, he doesn't count as a visitor. He can come up. That's perfectly all right.
No matter how many times, you've said that in the past, all of the staff always follow protocol because they are a well-oiled machine, and guests wait in the sitting room because that's the way they've been trained to do things. But a few moments later, your best friend slash partner in crime, uh, buddy Ulysses, knocks on the door
Come in.
and kind of slowly opens the door and walks and doesn't quite enter the room, but like stands like leaning against like the door frame sort of situation, and he says, um, "Hey, I just wanted to come by and see how you're doing."
As as can be expected, I suppose. Things happen. These things happen, and life has to continue. So I'm I'm at the business of continuing, I suppose. You're being strange. Why are you being strange? Why are you standing in the doorway like that?
He, when you as soon as you're done asking, closes the door. He just quietly walks over, and part of the reason he's being strange, you notice when you look in his direction, is that he does look quite concerned. He says, "Have you been sleeping? Have you been eating well? Uh, Have you been taking care of yourself, Dahlia?"
I think we both know the answer to that.
"That's why I'm here. I Why don't you?" And he looks around because he realizes where he is, and that's part of the reason he didn't like enter right away, because this is like the Duchess's space, so he's like not used to being invited into the space, and he's just kind of he feels weird about that, but also just really concerned. He's just like, "Why don't we go down to the kitchens like we used to and sneak a bunch of pastries or something?" Just
Haven't
come
you
have
heard?
something to eat with me, darling.
Haven't you heard I'm the lady of the house now? We don't have to sneak. But she will stand from her desk and kind of just leave the assortment of papers for the estate that are sitting on the desk there and acquiesce to go consume food.
Um, Lisa gives like a tiny smile when you mention being the lady of the house, and he says, "I suppose you're right." And he kind of lets you lead to go to the kitchens, as the lady of the house, kind of deferring to you a little bit, but also he knows the way. This is a trip the two of you have made several times, as the years have gone by. But there's a kind of weird quiet this time around. It's not like fun sneaking around or just the two of you having fun anymore, and it feels kind of heavy. And I think Ulysses kind of realizes this now. Like, you know, I mean, you haven't been kids for a long time, but it's just different now, and he definitely feels it. Um, and as you go down to the kitchens, this some of the staff acknowledge you as the lady of the house. Other staff like do the thing when you were children and don't acknowledge you guys walking. um you know we didn't see you, you didn't see us. So there's a really weird vibe. And as you enter like the kitchens, you see
Is avoiding
Mrs.
her
McIntyre has,
woes in an
as she
unhealthy
is
way,
leaving a
folks.
tray of like scones in the middle of the counter, and then she just walks out as if she was like expecting you to come down. For there's also a
Dahlia,
teapot.
Dahlia immediately goes for the scones with her bare hands in the most unladylike fashion possible.
I had, I may have had, I may have had someone prepare these. I knew you weren't eating or sleeping, so um, they're your favorite.
They are. Fresh scones always seem to make the world a little brighter somehow. Thank you, Ulysses.
Wow, lady of the house, that. Wow.
I can't believe they put me in charge. I mean, I know that that's the way that the system works, but I'm actually in charge now, and I don't. I just hope I do a good job.
If there's anyone I know who would do a great job, it would be you. And he smiles, kind of like, almost like there's a glint of like admiration in his eyes towards you.
We'll see. Once I get the others through this, we'll see if I'm actually made of the stuff that it takes to make a lady of the house. But yeah, I suppose the Duchess always had a way with each of us, and I worry that without her, I think perhaps the worst in all of us is going to come to the forefront for a while. And I'm not their mother. I'm their older sister, and they don't actually have to listen to me or take into account anything that I say.
He, if it's okay with you, he will reach for your hand on the counter, the one that's not like eating a scone,
Yes.
and he says, "You still have one mother left. Let her deal with some of that while you deal with the lady of the house responsibilities. Um,
I'd just like Mom to have a little bit more time to grieve, I think.
that's absolutely fair, but you all need time to grieve. I think that you should be patient with yourselves and each other, really. I know you find it really challenging to be patient with yourself.
Us being patient with each other is a tall order too, but we'll try.
And he looks at you like really tenderly and warmly and he says, I believe you can rally your siblings together. I really do.
Maybe you're right, but not before we eat every scone on this plate.
Absolutely. And he just grabs two of them. He's like double fisting scones. Just like, yup. And then he says, is there anything else on your mind besides family responsibilities? You seemed, I don't know, extra distracted maybe.
Peregrine Cabot is on my nerves. That's all.
Are you still going on about that scandal sheet? You know, the one that we laughed about over breakfast the other day?
Yes. I don't like people speaking out of turn, and I know that that's all there is to do in society, but I hate it.
I mean, I don't blame you. It is definitely one of the worst parts of society. Delicious. And he puts the scones down that he's eating and then pours himself a cup of tea, and he's like essentially just like, you know, tea cup and everything, and he's like, so there's something I'm missing here, I think. Like, what is exactly the deal with the two of you? If, you know, I'm not one specifically to believe what the society papers say, because, I mean, it's utter nonsense.
It's true. It's true.
So, I'm giving you the opportunity to tell me what's real here.
It's true.
Wait, what? And he just like he does the thing where like and he's like,
Dahlia shoves a whole scone in her mouth.
These things are never, these are all falsehoods. And he's just shocked. And then he grabs the scones that he was like holding and starts eating them too. And then when he's done, he says, I'm not going to pry, but if there's anything you'd like to share, you know, you always have my ear.
You know how, over the years, you have gotten as good at anticipating my sisters as I have, because you're here all the time.
Yeah?
Well, ideally, someone that I were to marry would be similarly acquainted with my sisters. Would my sisters, and now Kerria that they're back, would have an investment in knowing them, in understanding them, and our dynamic as a family. And Peregrine was categorically not. And my family comes first, always, in every situation. So we didn't get married, but there was a moment where we were going to elope, and then we didn't. So that's fine. It's really for the better. The single most insufferable person I have ever met. And she starts to kind of like crush the scone that's in her hand, just thinking about the conversation from earlier.
Oh.
And he kind of rubs her scone-free hand, kind of reassuringly, and says, "No, no, no, it's okay. You don't have to get into it. I'm glad that we're speaking more like this. I wish you'd confide in me more. Let me help you carry some of your burden. We've been friends for so long."
Yes, but at some point, some fantastic individual is going to snatch you up and put a ring on your finger, and then they're going to require all of your time. So it's probably better if I don't take more than my fair share of it.
Unless. Have you
I mean,
considered? Anyway.
What if I told you?
And what if I told you there's no one I'd rather spend my time with?
It was the facial expression for me of just straight, just visceral. What?
Well, I suppose that would make me feel better about how much of your time I take up.
She turned into a robot. Just talking.
This time, Ulysses grabs a scone and puts the whole thing in his mouth.
I mean, I suppose that's good. That's excellent, even considering that we are standing in my kitchen eating scones at an unnatural pace, that you enjoy spending your time with me.
Well, clearly this has gotten slightly awkward. I'm glad that at least you're getting some sustenance in you. And then he'll grab her hand and just, gently give it a kiss. And say, what? Do it.
Could I spend 1 or 2 resolve tokens, and this would be between me and DK probably, to have Peregrine knock on the door?
Yes, absolutely.
And show up with an apology bouquet.
All the way down in the kitchen, or at the front door? How do you want
at the front door? He would be at the front door. Yeah. So
I mean that the resolve token would go to DK.
Great.
I'm so in.
I also want to spend a resolve token. I think this is how it works. To just be the one to open the door and walk Peregrine up to the room and just be like, and just because Kerria doesn't know what's going on. Kerria just
okay.
I want to be the one to open the door when Peregrine comes in.
Okay, so you can offer one of Peregrine's resolve tokens to for Dahlia, so you can mark that off because DK has agreed. And then if you can offer one of Kerria's resolve tokens to Dahlia as well, and if DK agrees, then they also get that token. So
I wholeheartedly agree with all of this.
Yay! All of the tokens.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
I hear a knock on the door, and normally the servants get it, but I was bored, had a big fight, and I was tired, and I wanted to see who was here, and I opened the door to see you're
Peregrine.
I should know your name.
Yep. Hi, Kerria. You're back. I've heard. Welcome back.
Were you and my sister dating at some point?
He's gonna like fiddle with his collar, like, oh god. No.
The way you said no means yes. She's upstairs. Did you want to see her or something?
But at least you know I said no. Yes, please.
So
Why are you here
what?
though?
Why? To see her.
So, Kerria, when you lead Peregrine to
I haven't
Dahlia's.
moved yet. I haven't even let him in
Oh,
yet. He's
okay.
still outside.
Oh damn.
Oh, okay.
So clearly you're requiring more of me before you let me in.
What are you carrying?
This is a bouquet of
Flowers for the flower family.
I didn't think about that when I got chrysanthemums. Shit.
Chrysanthemums too. Are you here to visit my older sister or my youngest?
Definitely your older sister. Definitely. You know, and he's gonna
Definitely.
toss the bouquet into the flower bed off to the side. Just
And now littering. You're very lucky that we have very dedicated staff here.
No, and then he's gonna go and grab the bouquet.
So there's a footman, like a garden staff or whatever, just like grabbing the flower, the
Don't
bouquet
worry
that was
about
tossed.
it. We
He-
have staff.
Nope. He's gonna wrestle it out of their arms, and now his professory outfit is gonna have like a couple of smudges of soil on it and be a little wrinkled, and just like look a little messed up in general.
Don't worry,
Can
you
you
look
just-
fantastic.
Great, thank you. Can you please take me to Dahlia, please?
I would
please.
love to.
Thank you. I am sure you would.
Let's go. Follow me quickly, please. And then Kerria just turns and walks up, and we'll look back to see if he is following quickly or if he's just standing there still.
No, he'll hustle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. You're good with instructions. I like that. I go up and I knock really loudly at the door. Dahlia.
Are
there's
any of your siblings normal?
So,
here.
so you take Peregrine. Hold on. You are in the kitchen downstairs.
I take him to her office.
Yeah. So when you go to Dahlia's study, you expect that she's there, but she's not.
Oh,
There's no answer
there's no
at
one
the
there.
door.
I open the door. Looks like she's not here. I guess you have to go now.
I do not believe that that's how it works.
I mean,
Normally when, you know, not you answers the door, I get to wait until Dahlia is found wherever she may be, and then
what if you have to wait like 3 days? You never know where my sister is gone. Did you know that I was gone for a year?
I did, and also there are worse places to have to wait for 3 years, so...
Alright, well, if you must wait, I'll go stand by the door again, and I'll go downstairs and look for her.
Okay.
You
And actually,
So
he will,
what-
if it's okay, he will just follow Kerria, looking for Dahlia.
so
I'm
you
gonna
have-
I'm gonna ignore him and pretend that I told him that he actually followed me and stood by the door. But I'm gonna go walking
what-
around.
so what happens is Ulysses is like oh, this is getting awkward, but I'm glad you're finally getting something to eat. I'm gonna go now because he pretty much just essentially said, I really like spending time with you. I think I caught feelings. And then he's making a run for it. So I imagine as.
Can we just meet?
Yeah. So what I imagine is that as Ulysses is going upstairs to like make a hasty retreat, Kerria, they run into him.
Oh, Ulysses. My
Kerria.
sister's
Oh.
other friend.
Oh.
This is Peregrine, my
Yeah,
sister's friend as well.
I know.
Are you two friends?
No.
No.
Really quick responses there. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we're definitely not friends. I need to go. I need to get out of here.
Were you hanging out
By
with
all
my sister by
means.
any chance?
I was going to, but I stopped by the kitchens first to try and get something for Dahlia to eat, but yeah, that didn't work out. I just need to go. Please let me go. And he looks
Peregrine's
very
gonna
awkward.
like try and get into the kitchen, like just not wanting to acknowledge the existence of this other human.
He was a little rude, wasn't he? Well, I like you better. And I'll see you soon. Have fun. I hope you had a great time. And then I'm gonna burst into the kitchen, shouting, "Your friend's here!"
Dahlia is standing still as a statue, looking like somebody hit her in the face with a 2x4. There's like powdered sugar on her face and hand, and she's still holding half of a scone and just staring into space.
Hey, it's Peregrine.
Dahlia, are you okay? And he's gonna like come around, completely forgetting about the fact that he has soil like on his shirt and like his hair is a mess, like forgetting about that in favor of concern for Dahlia.
While they're doing that, Kerria is gonna go grab a scone, lean at the kitchen sink, and just watch and eat.
Of course. Every family has one.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad Carrie's back for this.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes. I'm. Mm-hmm. Hi.
One moment, and he'll set the flowers down like on the counter in front of Dahlia, and like hustle over to the sink, get a wet cloth, hustle back over, and like start helping to get the powdered sugar like off of her.
Oh, he went touching immediately.
Dahlia's face is bright red and her eyes are kind of glassy at this point. Her brain is overloading at this point.
You look like someone threw a bag of powdered sugar at your face.
That will happen when you eat 6 scones. Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel better about how that happened. Because never mind.
He threw a bouquet out and then picked it up.
What?
No.
A what?
These are for you. And he's gonna awkwardly point to the bouquet of chrysanthemums.
Chrysanthemums flowers. Dahlia.
Why are they for me?
Because I owe you an apology for earlier.
Oh.
I am not particularly adept in romantic avenues or realms. Almost running away with you is probably the closest I've gotten to any kind of love feeling.
God, you guys almost ran away?
And
really?
I have not been good at matching my words or my actions with my feelings. And and that included today because I was crass and cruel to you when in reality, seeing you today was the best thing that has happened to me in a very long time, and that includes the fact that just 5 days ago I won another award for my research. So,
Humble brag.
I think I have been since we were small and might always be in love with you, Dahlia.
I would like to spend a resolve token from Mrs. McIntyre, the head of staff, to burst into the kitchen with a bunch of like servants, the cook, and everything to get ready for dinner, and I don't know who to offer this one to. I think I'll offer to Dahlia just because
Yeah.
she's being overloaded.
Yes, I think Dahlia sees Mrs. McIntyre and just, yes, Mrs. McIntyre, thank you. Yes, good. Are there any more scones, just out of curiosity? That's just a question for me.
Those
should-
are the scones I set aside for you, darling, but there are scones later, more scones later. I will send them up to your study.
You are an angel. Thank you. I'm going to need them,
Absolutely.
I think.
Now, everybody clear the kitchens. It is time for dinner prep.
Kerria gets in the middle of Dahlia and Peregrine, just sort of like bumping, like, whatever, making sure there's big space. Holy Spirit. And it's like, Mrs. McIntyre, I have missed your meals. I can't wait to eat the food. And then I look at Peregrine. You're still here.
If it's okay with Glaiza, I would like Dahlia to reach out and just kind of gently touch Kerria's face and just kind of push her back just a little bit so that she can see Peregrine.
She moves back. They move back and look at Peregrine. It's like, you should go.
Oh,
I will write you. We will discuss this, but not when. Not now. Not now.
No, not now. And he'll kind of like awkwardly salute. I know the way out, and
You would know the way out.
He will scurry. He will scurry away, terrified of Kerria. Just run so fast, so gone.
Okay. I think that will make an excellent end for our novel chapter. That went really well, don't y'all think?
Things took a turn for Dahlia.
Yep.
So I think what we will do very quickly is we'll do reputation really quickly, and then we will take our official break at the top of the hour. But what I will do is pull up the background sheet for the peerage, and we will discuss your reputations, and we will answer some questions maybe. You may gain a positive and a negative tag in this round. You may gain one of each, one or the other, or none, depending on your answers to the question. And the reputation criteria is gain a positive tag if you've acted in the service of duty or morality in a way that compromised your desires, acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship, made a sacrifice, or denied your desires to uphold the superiority of your rank. How does anyone feel about their reputation?
Does embarrassing Peregrine count as acting in the way of society by embarrassing? So I don't know. This is the first time I'm playing this game.
No, it's also entirely possible that you have not, your reputation hasn't changed.
Cool.
Um, you should have your starting tags. I don't know if you put them in.
Think so.
It's totally fine. We can deal with that on the break if you want
Awesome.
to. How does everyone feel about their positive tags? Do they think they got one? No?
I think
Unless good in bed is one, then probably not.
Gain
About
a
all
negative
Iris
tag.
got up to.
Gain a negative tag if you acted in contravention of society's conventions, acted on a desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality, or allowed others of lesser rank to talk down to you or treat you as an inferior. Which I am going to point out that um, Kerria's fight
Yeah,
at the country club definitely counts as allowing someone of lesser rank to
I did get slapped.
talk
That
down.
is a
You
thing.
did get slapped,
I let myself get slapped.
so you would gain a negative tag. So a tag is essentially a descriptor of how society might view you. You have a positive and a negative one to start, but you also gained a new negative one for what happened in your scene.
Okay.
So based on what happened in your scene, you can just give like a negative descriptor for your character. Um, and if the rest of you have tags that you want to share, like if you think you've gained tags, uh, you can share with the class. So, what kind of descriptor do you think would fit Kerria in terms of that fight? Argumentative, maybe?
I don't know. I was
Or
just gonna go for slapped, but weak because I don't know. I feel like weak might be about
yeah,
to.
that could. If you feel like it fits, we can write it in.
Um. Actually, let's go with
Kristin, do you?
Let's go with like argumentative because they did start
Yeah,
the fight,
they did.
And they went after
Yeah.
Peregrine.
and I did embarrass Peregrine. So let's do argumentative.
Kristin, in terms of Iris's
Um,
reputation.
I think she would probably get like a, at least especially among her family, a tag like avoidant, because instead of dealing with any of the family stuff, she would be
Like
avoiding it all.
distant, distant,
Yeah, that
detached.
works. Detached. Yeah.
Okay,
And
Dahlia.
if we take a negative tag, we get a resolve token, right? For taking
Well,
the negative
the
tag,
tags.
or
So what happens with the tags is if you use them, if you invoke them in a scene and you make it applicable to the scene, you can use the resolve token to be like, oh, because my character is this,
gotcha.
something happens, and then you can offer the resolve token to someone
Okay.
to make a thing happen. DK, what about Dahlia? What do we got for Dahlia?
I think she earns a negative tag this round, and I think she earns the tag reclusive because she hasn't been out in society. She hasn't been like the face of the family. She's just been very much shut up at home, taking care of things there.
Okay. Good. So if we are all happy with reputation tags, we will take a 10-minute break and we will be back at quarter after to wrap up this cycle and you know continue telling stories. So we'll be right back after a quick break. See you at quarter after. back with Regency Remixed, the Gardeners. We are just going through the rest of our cycle here. We covered our gardener's reputation before the break, and now we get to
Ooh, we did.
the fun part. We are going to go to the scandal sheet tab on our play document and start coming up with more rumors. So how this works is each player has 2 chances to either create or spread a rumor, and also specify if their character or one of their connections has gone out of their way to either create the rumor or spread the rumor. And then we will kind of play out vignettes or little mini scenes, how each of the characters receive the scandal sheet. So this is where it gets fun. I'm gonna start with Glaiza.
Awesome. My. So does it have to be about me, or can it be about anyone else?
It could be about anyone or anything, something that you think society would like gossip about. Whether it's true or not doesn't actually really matter unless you make it matter.
Awesome. Let's see. I want to spread a rumor that Sophia is also part of the peerage, but is a secret part of the Wait, does that work? Oh
Yeah.
no, I have a different idea. There is a
Okay.
member of the peerage that is pretending to be a writer in the writer circles. It is not Iris, but it's not clear in the scandal sheet.
Okay.
So basically, the scandal will come out that there is a peerage pretending to just be a normal writer.
Okay.
And I want Iris to read it and think it's her, but it's actually somebody else. Is that possible?
Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna
Awesome.
be on the sheet. So Kristin.
I am going to I'm going to do I have to specify like who is starting the rumor? Or can I just put a rumor out there into the universe?
You can. You can also it's optional. You can specify if one of your connections or your main character would have spread it themselves. Otherwise, it's just
okay. Yeah,
someone in society talking about it. It's optional.
Someone in society is saying that Iris Gardner is having a torrid secret love affair with Sophia Lovelace.
Okay.
Glaiza.
Oh no, it's been revealed.
And DK? You can also confirm or like spread one if you have
I would like to confirm the rumor that I'd like to confirm the rumor about Iris and Sophia.
The disrespect. I'm kidding. I love it.
Glaiza?
I am going to create a rumor that Eliza has immediately went on a date with somebody else like a month after Kerria had left.
Okay. We can do that. I got it. I'll put it in.
That's why Kerria was upset. But
Yeah.
also serves him right. He just left. Like who dare? Like why would Kerria? Sorry, I'm feeling my feelings for my own character.
I love it.
That's great. Excellent.
I'm going for my second turn, going to confirm that Peregrine has proposed to Lady Dahlia.
Okay, cool.
Then to build off of that, I would like to start a rumor that Lady Dahlia Gardner is choosing between two proposals.
Yes.
Because somebody saw both men approach her house and leave.
Oh, damn. I mean,
Yep.
it's not wrong.
Awesome.
It's not incorrect.
No, it's two declarations of love. Technically, there was only one proposal, but
now it's gonna be two proposals.
well,
Yeah, I want people to just think because they saw both of them approach the house and Peregrine came with flowers that they were both proposals. And she's just
Yeah.
sitting on that now.
I'm just gonna say Lady Dahlia has been considering two separate proposals. Okay. Great. Those that have been confirmed, if you invoke them in a scene, you can essentially use them as resolve tokens, as long as it relates to the actual rumor.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see. Rumor done. So this is fun. Everybody has 2 turns in the epistolary phase to either write a letter, write a journal entry, describe a dream or a nightmare, or have a weather interlude. So, and I have a reference for the weather interludes beneath the cycle of play in case you were wondering what they are. So if someone wants to go first, let me know.
I kind of want to do a weather interlude.
Okay, by all means, pick one, and
we're gonna do storm.
Okay, so this particular format is actually like a scene. So, what does this look like?
There's gonna be a storm, and Eliza is going to open the door, and there's Kerria standing outside in the rain.
What are you doing here?
With consent, Kerria is just gonna go ahead and kiss her.
Yeah, consent granted.
Awesome.
And then when she finally pulls away, she says, "How dare you?"
And Kerria,
and she says, "Make it make sense."
Kerria looks at you and goes, "I just wanted to see if the passion was still there." And then they turn around and leave.
And then you hear behind you from a distance, Eliza yelling with her full chest, "I hate you!"
The feeling is mutual. And then, like, raises a finger at her.
Okay. Who wants to turn next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Oh, did you want to go, DK?
I mean, I can.
Oh, it's up to you.
You spoke first. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm being too accommodating. I'm gonna go ahead and describe a nightmare.
Okay. Go for it.
So Iris would be having this sort of reoccurring nightmare that would just be getting more intense and tumultuous each night. And so the nightmare kind of goes like this. She's walking through the halls at an event where her family is esteemed guests. And as she's walking, everyone's turning their heads and looking at her and whispering to each other and huddling and glaring at her. And uh, as she's, getting closer and closer to Lucy, who it looks like Lucy, her ex, is there to receive her as if they were a couple in this dream world. The closer and closer she gets to Lucy, suddenly Lucy looks further and further away, and Iris would trip over herself and land face first, and then everyone would start laughing, including Lucy. And the one person who kind of runs up to Iris to help her up in the dream is Sophia. But the minute that Sophia makes physical contact with Iris, Iris would look like she was in pain, as if the contact between their skin was painful for her, and everyone else would point at them and then start laughing again and saying words of judgment. And then Iris would wake up covered in sweat, out of breath, having a panic attack. And she would be having that dream and different versions of that dream nightly.
Oh, dang. DK.
I think I'm going to describe just a dream. I don't know that I would call it a nightmare.
Okay, that by all means.
I think Dahlia has fallen asleep at the desk in her mother's study, and on one side of her, there's a half-finished plate of scones that are left over from dinner, and on the other side of her, there is a small, dusty velvet box that is closed. And she kind of keeps looking between the two of them all night, and she finally dozes off. And I think in her dream, Dahlia is in a long white dress, but it's not a morning dress, it's a wedding dress. And she is walking down the aisle, and she can see all of her siblings that have kind of preceded her in the wedding procession. And at the end of the aisle stand both Ulysses Knott and Peregrine Cabot. And Dahlia wakes up before she sees who she chooses.
Oh my god.
Okay. Glaiza, you have a second turn.
This is gonna be a journal.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, this is gonna be a journal. Kerria is writing in their journal and remembering some of the letters that were sent to them. Stories about Eliza dating somebody new, and Kerria, being the dumbass that they are, is upset and is writing like, how dare she move on so quickly? I know I left without warning, but how dare they? And deep in their heart, they're holding on to this anger and this pain. That's why they made a promise that when they came back, they would one, seduce Eliza again, and then dump her. This is the notes. I'm not saying Kerria is a good person. I'm just saying that, they're hurt. Will they actually dump them? We'll find out. But I really hope not, because, Eliza deserves better. But that is the notes that Kerria is writing right now.
Okay. Okay. All right. Kristin, your turn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like the vignette busyness of life weather
Sure.
interlude thing, and essentially it's just gonna be like, in those movies that appeal to the youths, where people are just going from party to party and there's like flashing and dancing and drinking, and it's just a montage of them jumping from party to party to party. That is what you see, but it's Iris and Sophia and then their whole group, like just lots of drinking and debauchery because Iris is avoiding her woes in an unhealthy way, folks.
It's Irene, really. It's not Iris, it's
Yes,
Irene. It's
yes, and
the
that's
Irene montage.
yes, that's also important to note. How long is
um
it gonna be before she gets caught?
on behalf of this channel, we do not condone this sort of
Yeah,
behavior.
that's why I was like, and it's not healthy.
Um okay. And DK.
Immediately after waking up from that dream, Dahlia pulls out a blank piece of paper, and I'm writing a letter, but it's more of an exercise than a letter. It's to Peregrine Cabot. And at the very, very top, she writes the word marriage with a question mark, and then underneath, in parentheses, to you. And then underneath that, it's a pro and con list that's blank on both sides. And underneath, all it says is show your work. And she's going to ask Althea to send that over to Peregrine Cabot's house.
Althea does it, but she does it at the end of the day.
Yep.
So Peregrine doesn't get it until like the evening or whatever. But yeah.
That was a direct mental challenge from one player to another, and I'm very excited.
That's great. So, to cap off our session for this evening, I, in my excitedness of, sometimes my brain, I forgot to do something as part of the rumor, the scandal, rumor and scandal phase, which is to ask each of you how your main character receives this scandal sheet and how they react to the current confirmed rumors. And you know what? I will start with Kristin this time.
Goody.
Where is Iris when she receives the latest?
Honestly, so if it's okay with Glaiza, she would be like waking up in bed next to Sophia, and like, yeah, but it would be at Sophia's place, so it would be like a regular delivery that Sophia also got, probably because she's at least
Like scandals.
yeah, exactly. So they would, take a look at the scandal sheet, and immediately Irene would like slam it down to like hide it, to like pretend it wasn't there.
I'm gonna go get it so I could read it.
Yeah.
And I'm reading it. It's only the confirmed ones that are there?
The confirmed ones are on the front page, and the ones that are not confirmed are, or the ones that are considered idle. Sorry.
Or like on the inside, right? Like smaller.
Yeah, they're on the back side, and they're.
For example, there is a member of the peerage pretending to be in the writing circles. That's idle.
Yeah, that one is on the back side as well. Okay. If it doesn't get confirmed. If it doesn't get confirmed in the next round. No, it's not yet idle. It's just
sorry, my bad. I
Yeah,
was trying to remember. Okay, cool. Obviously, I'm going to look at the message and I'm going to be like, Irene, I don't know who this Iris Gardner is. I mean, I've never slept with her. I don't know who this is. This is just a scandal
I
thing.
have
Like,
a question. I don't know how we're doing with technology and everything, but would there be a picture of Iris next to the scandal, or is it just like text?
it's just text.
Okay, just
It's
just
it's a
double
newsletter with
checking.
just words.
Great.
I don't.
Uh,
I swear to you, I am only loyal to you, my love. And even if
it's fine. Yep. It's totally fine. And you'll notice like Irene's change in tune, like for her internally anyway, is because she is not now panicking that Sophia is going to be calling her out on actually being Iris. That was the source of her anxiety
okay,
at first, and so now that that's not an issue, she does actually calm down and is like, I know you're right. I know better when it comes to you. I do.
thank you for trusting me. This scandalous papers. Who do they think they are? Just coming up with names and putting them together.
Yeah, I actually find that the confirmed rumors are a little boring, because most people either already know about them and are talking about them, or it's, a publicity stunt. But the ones on the back are usually actually far more interesting and come from a source so secretive that no one else can confirm it anyway. Um, let's take a look see at those. And
And then I look at it and it says, there is a member of the peerage pretending to be a writer in the writing circles. Well, I mean, aren't you pretending to be a writer in the writing circles and aren't you a member of the peerage, Iris?
you don't know I'm Iris.
No, I mean, Irene.
Um, I'm not pretending to be a writer. I do publish.
That's true, but you are a member of the peerage. Like, right?
Not
Did you tell
by
me this?
it's distant relatives. I'm not sure that I would actually even count. I don't get invited to most of the fancy events except for the ones where, they hand out the pity invites to everybody.
Understood, understood. I wonder who they're talking about in regards to that member of the peerage. I'm
Well,
very curious.
do you know many members of the peerage?
Well, as I told you, I don't really know, other than the words that appear on these scandals. Maybe that Iris Gardner might actually be in the writing circles. Do you think that could be possible?
I mean, it would be a way to tie you two together, I suppose. But I mean, you're not actually a part of the peerage, are you? And you're just hiding that from me.
Oh no, I am not a part of the peerage. Um,
Hmm. Oh, good. All of my sisters are in here. Iris will say as she's like flipping through. All of them.
Okay.
All of them. Fantastic.
So we will transition over to Dahlia. How does Dahlia find the society papers on this day?
Dahlia goes looking for it. She is trying desperately to avoid Kerria, but is going to kind of creep past Iris and Kerria's rooms to Chrysanthemum's room and go in and look for her copy of it because she doesn't want anyone to know that she is checking the scandal paper.
So you managed to sneak into the room. Now, little known fact about Chrysanthemum. Well, aside from the fact that she has locked herself in her room since, but she sleeps like a log. So you managed to sneak into the room and find the copy that was delivered to her. by one of her chambermaids, and it is actually just like it was slipped under the door, so you find it really quickly and you just pick it up. You can pick it up.
And I'd like to just
And
slip
you can
back out.
probably just leave and then slide it back under the door like nothing. It'll be fine. So,
Dahlia can't help herself and knows that she should go to her office to examine this, but looks. She starts with the like fresh and idle rumors and sees.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Iris isn't all right. Good. Yes, this is. I'm sure exactly what the Duchess wanted for us. And then flip it over to the main rumor side and see her name,
Yeah.
and just go, like kind of lose all of the color in her face. And I think rather than slipping it under the door, she just kind of like rolls it up very, very tightly out of stress and stomps back off toward her office with it in hand. And as she is going to her study to just probably put her forehead on the desk for a while, I think she turns to Althea and says, Has there been any mail?
So, Althea actually like has the mail for you, and it's just a lot of official like paperwork and things, but nothing like personal.
I think in a state that
Or
Althea
or
has,
if you have a resolve token, you can manifest one from someone specific. If you can offer, you can compel them to write you a letter. I forgot about that. If you're looking
I
to
think
have a letter.
I think in this case, in a truly uncharacteristic show of emotion, Dahlia is going to flip through all of the mail, and when she sees that there's nothing personal, literally just throw them up in the air and stomp off to her office.
Althea is just extremely like shocked. Like, you know when a parent like sees their child do something disobedient for the first time and they're like, "What?" And then she starts picking up the mail like, okay. And Glaiza, how does Kerria find the scandal sheet?
Kerria picks it up and reads the scandal sheet. First, looking at the main thing, is like, huh, and is not at all like, look at all these stuff that has my siblings in it. Great. And then turns it around and reads the one about Eliza having a courtship with another person, and then just crushes the paper and says, I knew it. And that's it.
And I think that is an excellent place to end this evening's session of Regency Remixed. I would like to thank the audience for coming along on this roller coaster of a ride with us this evening.
Oh goodness, yep.
We adore and appreciate all of the viewers and lurkers. Shout out to the mods who are holding it down. And, special shout out to Abby. Sorry that your internet flaked out on you. Make sure you send them some love on Twitter. Enough of Abby, send her some love so she doesn't feel bad. Tell her she was missed. Yeah. So let's do some outros, starting with DK. Tell us who you are and where we can find you on the internet.
Hello, I'm still DK from the beginning of the show. You can find me at AbbaDarlings on Twitter, still just spewing every single thought that I have in my head out into a digital space where I cannot take it back, even when I want to. So if you're interested in drama, that's probably a good place to go, because I have lots of thoughts about things. You can also find me in like 45 minutes on Q Times, playing a different thing and a big angel lady in a different game.
Excellent. Check that out soon. 45 minutes. And Glaiza.
Hey, today I got to play Kerria, who has an undying crush on their one true enemy. I mean, love, whatever. We'll figure it out. I am the third culture kid of your nightmares. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host. I'm a writer. I'm a variety streamer. I am a talk show host. Uh, my show is called Trial Run. It is a show where I interview different TTRPG personalities, creators, players, GMs, and everything else in between, where we then create a character and run them through a quick one shot. Speaking of TTRPG personalities, I'm one too. I have many, many shows, both announced and yet to be announced. I get to play vampires, superheroes, a genasi, a space ninja, a couple of demigods, and a Digimon trainer. Anyway, you can find all of that being announced on Twitter by looking for @classicalglaiza. And everywhere else on the internet, you can find me at @classicalglaiza, except on Instagram because I don't use Instagram. And that's it.
Nice.
And for this evening, last but not least, Kristin.
Hello, I am Kristin. I am a TTRPG fiend. I mostly play, and am available to play way more. And other than here, you can also find me playing every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at twitch.tv/dauntless, LYS, for the D&D 5e pirate-based homebrew campaign I'm in, where I play probably my favorite character I've ever played in anything ever. And yeah, that's my biggest passion. And you can stay up to date with everything I'm up to via my Twitter, Kristin_house. That's it.
Excellent. And as for me, I am your facilitator, and you can find me at exo_girlwonder on Twitter. And also, I am here again tomorrow afternoon for some Lancer. I get to be an awesome mech pilot on Wednesday afternoons. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So, come and support me doing something completely different. I am also, for the last time, going to be featured on Vancouver by Night's channel for their limited series, Toronto by Night, where the Chronicle is going to have an exciting ending. And if y'all are interested in seeing a Toreador do some violence, check that out Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Vancouver by Night channel. And also on Sundays, for the next 2 Sundays, I am wrapping up season 1 of a campaign called Amidst Light and Shadow on Kira 858's channel, where I play a sad girl tiefling barbarian who does not like magic. So I've got 2 sessions left on that. Yeah, that's it. I was thinking, let's see who we have to raid. Does anyone have any suggestions? We should, if nobody has any suggestions, we should raid a creator featured on Roll for Luck, Girls Run These Worlds D&D stream. Fitness to Cosplay, our friend Ash. Yeah, we should go raid Fitness to Cosplay because I love them. So we're gonna, yeah, that's it. Let's go. Until next week, the chapter is closed. Thank you.